touchdown run to win the game for the team. Walk us through that whole play from getting the play call in the huddle to what happened. Once the ball was snapped.
Well, once I heard the play call, I realized like the past few plays they wasn't even covering me for one, and then for two they was slanting outside. So once I got the call, I was like, well, yeah, I already knew what I was finna do. And once the hole opened up, I just hit it. You know what I'm saying? And did what I did.
What was the moment like after you're in the end zone? The steam goes off, and you got 16 seconds on the clock, and team's in a pretty good spot at that point.
That's actually something I've been wanting to do since I've been here. You know what I'm saying? Walk off, touchdown run. It was very exciting for my teammates. Very exciting for me. It was a great feeling.
What was the message before y'all went on the field for that drive, or you had so much to go to get to where y'all needed to be to have a chance to win the game?
Oh, the message was just keep your composure. That's it. Stay calm. That's all.
Frank, you scored on your first 3 drives, touchdowns, and then after that, what was Tennessee Tech doing better or well on defense, or what were y'all struggling with?
They made adjustments. They made adjustments to our run game. And then the pass rush, their pass rush got a lot better towards the end of the game, too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
John, you set the tone early with the interception on Tennessee Tech's first drive. Walk us through that play. What reads you make to make that play in that one spot?
Yeah, we were just in cover 3. We've been practicing it all week, so I saw it, and the first time I messed it up, and the second time I saw it again, I just made a play. Great defensive play.
How big was that early for y'all on the defense to sort of set that tone at the start of the season and get off to that good a start on your first drive as a group?
That was huge. I mean, defense came out with the energy. We brought everything. We were prepared. We were ready. So just coming out first game, just doing that, like that was huge for us.
When Tennessee Tech had to go to their second quarterback, and he had a little bit of different skill set than the first guy, how did they take advantage of that? Particularly in the second half.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, their second quarterback was a little bit more mobile, was able to get out of the
Yeah.
pocket, seemed to open up some options for Tennessee Tech against
Mhm.
y'all. What was hard about guarding him in those moments?
I wouldn't say anything was hard about it. We tried to make some sideline adjustments, just figure out what we can do to stop it, and it wasn't too difficult. I mean, I feel like we prepared well for that. So yeah.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
I'd like to build time.
One more player, and then Mason.
Drake, as soon as you got that interception, my mom called me and said, "Hey, I heard you got an interception."
Miles Butler.
Then I get more phone calls.
I got next up Miles Butler.
Good afternoon. Well, morning, I should say.
Miles, you had a lot of success on your first drive. Seemed like the script for that worked really well. What opened up in the passing game on that opening drive for you guys?
Just doing what Coach called. Just doing the thing that I have to do, the right thing, and being in the right spot, knowing Nick we're gonna give me the ball, being in the right spot. So just trusting the offense.
How's your connection with Nick grown? Through the month of August now that we're in September now. September 1st.
It's grown a lot, man. Nick opened me with open arms as soon as I came in. Cool guy, great guy, very down to earth guy. So that connection just kept growing as the days kept going. I appreciate Nick for sure.
How did Tennessee Tech adjust sort of in the second half, or maybe the passing game wasn't as successful as it was in the first half?
They just knew they kind of was sitting on a lot of our routes, just making adjustment. As that's how football go. You go into halftime, you're gonna make adjustments. You ain't gonna keep getting beat. So they played football. They did the right thing. They made adjustments, started sitting on some of our routes, and we had to find another way to execute, and that's what we did in the fourth quarter.
4th and 5, Omari Kelly gets open in the middle
Man.
of the field. Walk us through what you were seeing on that play and sort of your reaction afterwards.
I was seeing Amari go be Amari. That's what Amari is. Like when he get his chance, he gonna pop it. He was being Amari in that 4th and 5. That y'all just not seeing Amari. We've been seeing Amari the whole time, but that's one. That's one when he get his chance.
You had to play there to the very end. How crucial is it to play to the very end, especially on a night like tonight where you play all the way up until the morning?
You know, you have to stay locked in. You have to play all 4 quarters. You know, that's why it's 4 quarters, not 3 quarters, the 4th quarter game. So you have to stay locked in. Can't lose focus. Can't lose your composure. You got to stay here, and that's what we did in the 4th quarter. And I'm proud of my team, all of them. Defense, offense, special teams. I'm proud of how we came together and we finished the game the right way.
Miles, thank you.
Thanks, Miles.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
well.
Appreciate y'all.
Ace is on the radio. We ain't get here. What? He gets paid to talk to them. We don't get paid to talk to them. That's true.
He embodies the energy of a side character on The Simpsons. Yeah. It's a. He's trying to do so many different personalities.
Whoever runs the HSU football Twitter account, they do a good job. I got them on notifications. I get just 100 notifications.
He was having a plus time game, but I think something. But then, I assume it was probably Jace tonight, but it wasn't. Jace is on it.
It's a team effort. We usually have somebody doing graphics. We got somebody editing photos. We got somebody taking clips from our video people down there. So it's a lot of people that go to that social account.
That's why it's constantly.
Yeah. But Jace is the one hitting send on everything, for sure.
I mean, we just had to we had to come back. No. We just had to come back with this next yes, in which we were playing. It'd be different if we did it against Western.
We looked down, so Newt, his grandfather actually played for Ole Miss, so he got hooked up with, a good family train down there, free Airbnb, and then obviously I get a press pass, so I'm driving us to him. Oxford's I love Oxford, it's not easy when you get there from here, but not really. I think it's 4.5 hours, something crazy.
Showers after us.
No, I love Oxford.
I don't know what view it's cool, but as soon as
Last time I was there was when, it was actually the tournament away. Just last, maybe six last year, before he went to Ole Miss. We went there and like, Danny Kennedy was still coaching Ole Miss, we blew him out. Like, I remember everyone at halftime was like, there's no way we should do this. So we had like 20-25 at halftime. Little did they know that that would go on to be Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last time I was 20, 21, I was visiting the extra freshman at the time, and we visited her and then went to A&M Ole Miss and they were talking together, so.
And I'm sitting up there and that's
First 2 years.
Everyone's back during the stuff.
Yeah.
Zero for
Mario, my fantasy team, is very glad he got that last pick. I got just Danico, like this, he did not help me.
That's why I didn't try Mario, because the only because it wasn't a massive sample size, he averaged like 20.5 yard catch, so he's definitely got the vertical.
They didn't go over the top because they couldn't block to go over the top.
He said, we'll
They had no
Yeah,
time.
it was extremely
Yeah. They had,
First couple drives, it looked pretty good.
everyone else.
They were mixing rotation, mixing pairings up a lot.
Well, the second group with me.
All right, guys, Coach Mason.
Hey, fellas. Tell you what, tonight was an interesting night, to really say the least, right? And I want to say hats off to Tennessee Tech, Coach Wilder and that crew. They came in here and they played one heck of a ball game. You know, first games are what first games are, right? You know, you look early and you think that you're going to have an opportunity to go boat race somebody a little bit and just keep going, and then all of a sudden, then you sputter out. And momentum. Football's a game of momentum, and I thought, you know, we had it early. Tennessee Tech, you know, marched back. They took it, and that was okay. I don't think this group panicked. We wanted to play better, and what you saw from this team was growth, right? A lot of new faces, some adversity, and you have to learn how to win in a lot of different ways in college football. You got to learn sometimes how to play from ahead. You got to learn how to play from behind, and I think we got it all in one. You know, rain delay, playing from ahead, coming from behind. Look, I didn't want to draw it up that way, but what I felt was this football team learned a lot about itself, its character, you know, and winning does take what winning takes, right? It takes commitment for 4 quarters, 60 minutes every play, and we needed every bit of 4 quarters, 60 minutes and to get the victory. So, you know, there's a lot to be learned from game 1 to game 2. At the end of the year, nobody's going to look back and remember what the score was. What people are going to remember that it was a victory, and so I'm going to celebrate it that way, right? I got a lot of confidence in this team. I think we can get better. We had a couple of losses injury-wise in this ball game, so I hope we can get some of these guys back as we get ready to turn the corner and to play Ole Miss. But hats off again to Tennessee Tech.
Coach, can you speak on getting that first win here under your belt?
Yeah.
And number two, you mentioned boat racing. Would it have been more memorable had you boat raced them, or was a thrilling win like this make this first win more memorable?
To be honest, so I look at where we are, and this is special because it was almost 10 years to the day, man, when I had to sit and play a game at 11:30 at night, and it's almost like, okay, hey, man, are the dark clouds coming back, right? You know, you have to sit there and ask yourself that. I mean, anybody who's a realist sits there and asks, okay, hey, you know, like, what type of thing is this going to be? And I'm human, you know, I'm just a regular guy, right? So, you know, you thought about it, but then my wife sent me a text. As I'm sitting in the locker room, my wife sent me a text, and she said, listen, this ain't that. She goes, hey, be confident. This ain't that. You got a new team, a new opportunity. This isn't 2014. This is 2024. And you know what? Just like that, man, I sort of snapped, out of it, right? And what I saw from this football team tonight, man, was really incredible. It was. First victory. We'll all remember it. That's for dang sure. We all gonna remember it. But just how resilient the kids were. You know what? Because when you have a new group like this, and you can have one of the best quarterbacks in the world, but at the end of the day, man, somebody's got to make some plays, and that's what happened. Guys made some plays. You know, in 1 minute, we probably had more plays made in 1 minute in that ball game than we made the whole second half. So again, be confident. Don't discount what opportunity brings you.
Coach, you mentioned it's a game of momentum. It seemed like that safety in the second quarter really shifted momentum for the rest of the game. You know, what changed after sort of that moment for you guys on both sides of the ball?
You know, to be honest, I just thought it was a safety, right? I didn't think of it as anything other than 2 points. What I was thinking about was we needed to make sure that we got a defensive stop, and we wound up holding those guys to a field goal, right? So, like, to me, maybe that was a momentum changer for us. I mean, like for them, but for us, you know, we just have to learn, you know, how to roll this thing over and make sure that we can flip the momentum. But we didn't, right? It just seemed like we stalled and we became stagnant, and they loaded the box, and we missed some opportunities. Got lucky with a couple of calls that sort of extended drives, right? Like to me, that wasn't how we wanted to play football. But here's what I'll say. I think this much. Sometimes, man, you don't necessarily get the win that you want. You get the win that you need, and that was the win that we needed. Like in my opinion, we needed to learn how to win tough, and man, that was a tough way to win one, for sure. We went the hard way.
You started off hot, like you said, with the boat race comment, but things went stagnant, as you mentioned.
Mhm.
What adjustments was Tech making, and where were you struggling to move the offense from there?
I think, like for us, when we go back and look at it, and we made some like adjustments, right? I thought they were loading the box, and I thought we were able to. I talked to Coach Reeder, and they made some adjustments. Whenever you're getting attacked on the line of scrimmage like that, get the ball on the perimeter. I think every time we threw a running back perimeter screen, it went for like 10 yards. So, I mean, you could have probably, spit it out there all day on the perimeter with receiver screens and running back screens, because if they want to load the box like that, there's just not enough guys out there to bring it down. And so, like, we saw that, like, happen a couple of times. I thought we missed some easy, like, pitch and catches, right? I mean, easy outs, easy hitches. I mean, those haven't been characteristic. And so I just look at it and just say, hey, look, we got to be better. So there's a lot to go back to the table with this week. We've got good enough players. I believe that they're going to be excited about executing, but the reality of it is we played just good enough, okay, to almost put ourselves in position to get beat, okay? And that's not what you want. What you want to be able to do is be methodical, be mechanical, take your shots, I just didn't see us push it down the field like we wanted to tonight, and I thought there was some opportunity, but you got to keep your quarterback upright. All right, so as we look at it, there's just a lot there. So we'll unpack it tomorrow. We'll fix it, and let's move forward.
Tell me about that last drive there and kind of the special character that is Nick Lattiota that was able to keep the team poised on a 4th and 5 there.
Look, it's crazy because Nick was poised on 4th and 5. On 3rd and 5, he sort of panicked a little bit, I mean, so like again, it just shows, trust process. If you ask him, he probably would have wanted that 3rd down back. He didn't get it. He got 4th down and made it work. I just think this kid's a special talent, right? We do have to keep him upright, but I think there's other things that we can do to make sure that we spread it around, that we get the ball in our playmakers' hands, because we got way too many playmakers not to make sure we spread the love.
Coach, you talked about how, tonight being a close win. Do you think that the team can almost learn more from this being a close a battle with Tech tonight than had it been the blowout that many expected going into tonight's game?
I didn't expect a blowout. What I expected was, us to come out and play better, right, or play well. And I thought we went out and played well initially. And then, became stagnant. That's not what we want. So, I will address that, and we'll work to fix that. All I can say is this, right? Learning with 59 to 60 new players, there's a lot of learning going on. So I'm gonna talk about the lessons that we can take from this ball game and then move forward, because like when you got a bunch of guys just working to gel together, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's our quarterback with our receivers, man, our run game, whether it's defensively. Look, if you dwell too much on the negative, okay, man, you can find yourself stunning their growth. I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm going to focus on what needs to be fixed, okay, man, I'm going to accentuate the positives, and what we're going to do is get ready to go play Ole Miss.
You guys rotated in a lot of guys at different positions tonight.
Yeah, we did.
Particularly at running back. Were there any that stood out to you tonight, maybe above the rest, or was it just kind of a room that functioned best as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I look at the running back room and I say to myself, it's one of the deepest that I've been around, and I've been around some pretty good running back rooms. It's just deep. You know, I mean, I don't care who you hand it to. I think they're all capable of doing something special with it. And I think they've all gotten better because they've learned how to catch the ball out of the backfield. They've learned how to protect. I mean, they've got to be three-dimensional in this offense, you know, for what we need to do. So I just think they've gotten better.
Previously, we talked about the last drive and how he converted on fourth down.
Mhm.
Really, y'all had success all night on fourth down from various distances. What made fourth down so successful for you on tonight?
Well, the analytics on it help, right? I think that's part of what you do. I mean, you look at some of the analytics and you ask yourself, hey, I mean, like, does it make sense? You know, we found ourselves in some precarious field position at times, right? It was like the 40, the 37, the 30. So, you know, like those, like for us, didn't want to give them field position, you know, with a long field goal. To me, that really didn't make sense, right? So I think we stood with the analytics. I had enough confidence in the things that I had seen in practice, and I thought, you know, Coach Reeder had some strong play calling early in this deal, especially on fourth down. So I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust our process of how we prepare. But the analytics, I think, help a lot nowadays. You know, like with where you sit, where you're at, and does it make sense to go for it on fourth down?
And continuing with that last drive, do you think that gives you a little bit of momentum going into this week, preparing for Ole Miss? And do you know of anything that 100% has to change to win next week?
Everything has to change. You know, and I don't think you leave, you know, any stone unturned, right? I think, man, we have to be better with penalties. I think we got to be better on third downs, okay? Both offense and defense. I mean, you can run down the gambit. I think there's just a lot of room for improvement. So with that being said, right, you're gonna go into a hostile environment, and those games are fun to play, okay? But here's the thing about, like, fun games in hostile environments. You can't lose your composure. You have to function at a high level. And really what it comes down to is not making a ton of mistakes. And tonight we made way too many. But that's okay. Like I said, we'll turn it around. We'll look at it. And this gives us a lot of confidence. I think this game itself, regardless of what other people say, I know what it looked like down there on the sideline. I know what happened when Amari caught the ball. I know what happened when Frank put it in the end zone. I saw the look in these guys' eyes. That's confidence, right? And that, a lot of people can't measure it, but I can.
Coach, you had your first win at Middle Tennessee today, but this is also the 300th win in Floyd Stadium.
Wow.
How does it feel to have both of those in your first game?
You know what? I mean, like I'm stunned by that. You know, to be honest, I didn't know. The 300 in program history, Floyd Stadium, that's incredible. That speaks a lot to the people, man, who came before us, because they put it at 299, right? And I'm just lucky enough to get 300. It's just, I don't know. I really don't think about it. I'm just glad that we got to win. So I'm thankful, but thank you for bringing that up, man. That's just one of these bones, man. I'll have to pick with Mr. Owens over there. And, man, he could have gave me a little more energy going into the night.
Coach, you have Amari Kelly on that 4th and 5 play.
Yeah.
What is it like to have a dependable wide receiver like him?
You know, we have so many dependable wide receivers. I look up, right? I mean, I don't think we found Holden enough tonight. And I think that's a matchup, man, that we have to, you know, find, right? I feel good about all our receivers. I just think, you know, like tonight was just one of those nights, you know, like for us where, you know, we didn't have the mojo, especially in the second half. We just didn't have the mojo, right? And so we have to work a little harder. We all, receivers, D-line, tight ends, we all just got to work a little harder, man, because it's there. It's there to be had, right? And I think we left a lot of production out there on the field tonight, but that's okay. There's always tomorrow.
With the delay with the Lightning tonight,
Mhm.
players might be thinking, play tonight. How do you keep them in that game mindset?
I didn't have to worry about that. Those guys were pretty fired up. They were a pretty rowdy group, just standing around like every 10 minutes, man. They seemed like little kids in the back seat. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? No. Okay, just relax. So we had to have them, take their pads and off a little bit and stretch out a little bit, but they handled it the right way. They really did.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate y'all.